Okay, back with some quick math. This is a question that you sent me. Let's deal with it quickly. This is analytical geometry. This is grade 12 level. I think this was from 2021's grade 12 in NSC exam. Okay, but let's get into it. Calculate the coordinates of M. Make sure you read the definition. I've read it already, so I'm not going to read it again. Make sure you read through there just to see if there's information that is maybe not shown on the picture that is in that description. Okay, so let's see. Coordinate of M. They've told us that these two lengths, this length and this length, are the same. That is in the description. So M is then the midpoint of those two coordinates N and Q. Alright, so let's just do that quickly. M, that's the midpoint formula. So it's midpoint formula substitution and answer that's going to get you your marks there. I'm just going to say M is x1 plus x2, and I divide this with 2, and then y1 plus y2, and divide all of this with 2. Okay, and then now note how I'm writing it. It's not a big deal, but it's a coordinate, so I'm not saying M equals, but again, not a big deal. So the coordinate of Q, the x value there is 4, plus the x value at N, which is 8. I'm going to add those and divide with 2. Y, the first value is negative 8, plus the other y value is 0. This is also going to divide with 2. And finally, M is 4 plus 8 is 12 divided by 2 is going to give us 6. And minus 8 divided by 2 is going to be minus 4. Okay, that was the first part of the question. Nice and easy. The gradient of NS is there. Gradient of that line. So you can really use any points on that line in order to find the gradient. So let's use... Why doesn't this want to leave? Okay, anyway, right, let's use let's use Q and S, but it really doesn't matter. So let's say gradient. So I'm going to use a small m of ns, and the gradient formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. These are formulas that are on your formula sheet, right? So make sure you know what's on your formula sheet. Make sure you know what you need to memorize yourself. And don't make silly mistakes. Like, for example, because of these two formulas that's on the screen at this moment, some of the common mistakes is that sometimes the learners put a plus in one of these formulas because the one on top actually has a plus. So know when the plus is there, know when there's a minus there. For the gradient, it's different, it's minus between those two values. But again, these are on your formula sheet. So go check it, and make sure you get the formula right. Okay, I'm going to do my substitution next. So let's see, N is 8 and 0. I'm going to put that coordinate in at the very same time. Okay, so I'm going to say 8 and 0, and then I'm going to put my minuses there. And that was N, so I'm going to put the coordinate of S, 0 and minus 16. 0 and minus 16. Okay, so see how I put those coordinates in. I put each of them in at the same time so that I could group them immediately correct. So 8 and 0 is a coordinate, 0 and minus 16 is a coordinate. The reason I put it in like that was that I don't get confused or I don't mix up my coordinates, right? So again, minus minus is going to be positive 16 over positive 8. This is a 0. It looked like the 8 for a moment. Okay, it's a 0. 16 divided by 8, that's going to be 2. So the gradient of that line is 2. Okay, show that the equation of LQ, L is L is here, LQ. So nicely they tell us that LQ is perpendicular to NS, which we've already found the gradient of. So something you should know is gradient of the perpendicular line is equal to the negative reciprocal, right? So what you should know is, in order to find the gradient of LQ, so let's say M of LQ, we know that one multiplied, let's say multiply m of ns. When you multiply the two of them, you are supposed to end up with a negative 1. So the gradient of LQ equals to the negative reciprocal. Change the sign and you flip it. We know that there's a over 1 there, right? So I'm going to make it negative and I'm going to flip it around. Okay, so that was the gradient. So after the gradient, we want to find an equation of a line. So it's y equals mx plus c. We found m. We need to find C. How do you find C? Substitute a point. Which coordinate do we have? We have coordinate Q, so it's 4 minus 8. So we're going to do the substitution of 4 minus 8 into our equation. So the y value is minus 8. The m value we found here, which was minus a half. The x value, which is 4, and c is what we're trying to find. So this over here is 4 times a half is 2. That's a negative 2. And we add 2 on both sides, so c is equal to minus 6. So the equation, all right, so the equation of that line is y is equal to minus a half x minus 6. Is that what they said it's supposed to be? Okay. Yes, that is what they said it's supposed to be. Let's cut this video here, and I think we'll do the rest of the questions in the next one.